everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. I'm your host, the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne. Today we're on site with Tim Williamson. Tim, thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here.
Awesome. Now, when I say on site, we're at the Nieux Society. Now, if you're not familiar with the Nieux Society, you'll know what it is by the end of this episode, but I was excited about this project when I first met Tim and the team here and what they're doing, because it's not just another NFT project to say, hey, we minted an NFT and we sold a bunch on OpenSea or anywhere else, wherever you can mint. But there's actually true utility here. But there's so much more to what you guys are doing than just the NFT, than just utility. So, Tim, before we get started, man, tell everybody about your background. I know you've got a rich background in the tech space.
Yeah, well thanks for being here, and this is great to be on this journey together. Real quickly, I'm born and raised in New Orleans. I did my walkabout, as all New Orleanians do, about 13 years to New York, Boston, Atlanta, Pittsburgh. Launched my career in the financial services industry. Started a couple companies in the internet business in the late 90s. Came back home to start one of the first digital media internet news studios in 97. I'm trying to explain what the internet was. And that led a bunch of us to a bar. We were all trying to launch internet companies here in New Orleans. We're all from New Orleans. We all moved away. We all went to different high schools. And we certainly didn't like each other. But we collectively believed that we need to start something here in New Orleans. So out of that, we created something called the Idea Village, which I was a founder and ran for 16 years, which is about fostering entrepreneurship in New Orleans and growing new companies. And at the end of it, I ran the Town of Picayune over the last couple of years. And this is basically, as you said, it's not really an NFT project. Right. It's actually the evolution of 25 years of building this community. And we felt that now is the time to put the pieces together and go after what's next. And Web3, blockchain, AI, or whatever is the next idea, why can't New Orleans be up front? So that's what this place is all about.
Awesome. It's exciting, I can tell you. I've been a member here for a little bit, utilized the space. Great space, but also great people. And I definitely see, today, the day we're recording this is obviously going to be published a little bit later, but the day we're recording this is the launch of the next season. Yeah. So you want to explain to everybody what that is?
Well, yeah, actually, and to begin with, what we're exploring is the utility of the NFT. Right. And so today what we're launching is the Nieux Society Collective, which, in addition to be a beautiful piece of art, so Jaron Beasley created this one-of-a-kind character, Nieux, and Lindsay Roussel and Rachel Nano had used Adobe AI programming to create 500 different attributes. So it's how do we explore art and technology and connect it to entrepreneurship? So today we're launching that collective, and you'll be able to customize it. But what that really is your pass to what we're calling a season. We're programming, New Orleans is great at seasons. We got Mardi Gras season, Jazz Fest season, Saints season, Hurricane season, everything's a season here. But we've used September to May as a good time to engage everybody and create programming. So we're launching a calendar from September to May. Within that calendar will be content where people can learn about new industries. Will be happy hours, will be keynote speeches, will be events. But Wayne, what the ultimate goal is for this group to meet new people, to learn new things. But at the end of the day, we want to launch new projects. This is about launching new stuff.
Yeah, and that's what happens when people come together. So I'd like to back up, man. I kind of jumped right into it with what's going on today. But Nieux Society, you guys started with founders tokens, right? You sold 504, I think was the initial allotment in reference to 504, the area code. So.
Well, there's a nod back to a little bit, when we started this, we've been involved in building the ecosystem, and over the last 2 years, you've seen some recent exits, so some success. So about $2.5 billion worth of companies were of wealth created, which is probably about $600 million went to 300 local families. So there's the beginning of a cycle of entrepreneurship, and so Patrick Comer started a company called Lucid, which he sold for $1.1 billion. And Zach Kupperman, who is a great local developer, he created St. Vincent's Hotel, The Drifter, and others. And so we came together and said, it's time for a physical place for this movement. And secondarily, we need to go after what's next. Now, that's a crazy idea. So we decided before we go all the way down the pathway, let's see who cares. And so, you'll love this. May 4th of 22, 5:04, at 5:04 p.m. We launched the founder token. So there's 504 of them, and we were looking for people who, were bold enough to explore this. And Wayne, you've been involved in this industry, but in New Orleans in May of 22, not many people understood this. So we spent from May to August onboarding 504 people onto, probably 10 people who actually had a wallet and knew what they were doing.
Everybody else,
Which to me is a remarkable thing that New Orleans, as you know, that was the beginning of the decline, and the bear market seemed to begin the day we launched. But you know what? You had people who were entrepreneurs, artists, business people, all different types of folks who showed up. And I think the common thing is a deep passion for the future of New Orleans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely are passionate about the state, the city. We definitely want to see things happen here instead of why does everything else have to happen elsewhere. Your Austins, your Floridas. I mean, we can learn from a lot of what they're doing, but we've got to grow it here because right. There's not a better culture than what's in New Orleans.
Well, look, I'll tell you. Look, I might be the old guy in this, but having been involved with this for 25 years, and now is the perfect time. You actually have a remarkably strong ecosystem of support, whether there's consulting or capital or such. So there's a system to support all types of entrepreneurs. Secondarily, we've had success. As I said, $2.5 billion in the last year and a half is, that may not be big in New York, but in New Orleans, that's sizable, and that's shown success, and we can do it. But more importantly, what's interesting in the next couple of months, there's about $100 million worth of venture capital. It's a federal money coming through the state that's been approved to probably 10 to 15 different organizations around the state. And that money is designed to start new ventures. The criteria is you got to be a Louisiana company. You got to be below 500 employees, which represents all local small businesses. But this is to start big ideas. Wayne, that's a lot of money for this community. $100 million, and I think they have up until 2026 to allocate that money. So for the first time since I've been around, this sort of flipped the script, where now it's not about is there money, are there ideas?
Yeah. And
so how do we catalyze folks to explore Web3, blockchain, AI, green, blue, whatever is next?
Yeah.
Now's the time to go for it. So I think the pieces are in place. It doesn't mean we are going to succeed, but in my opinion, we have all the right pieces in place, and we can inspire a whole new renaissance of ideas coming out of the city in the next 3 years. So that's the goal.
Oh, absolutely, man. I can tell you how many times people have come with great ideas and like, where we're going to get the money. Now it's like the money's there. Let's bring the great ideas to it. So,
well, and there's going to be, the supply demand. The supply of capital is there. We need ideas, and so I think this is the time. If there's an entrepreneur in the state of Louisiana that's thinking about it, want to learn about it, go learn something, identify a small problem or a big problem, build a team of folks, and go for it. 80% of the startups don't work, but the 20% that do can transform a community.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we need to do as a culture in Louisiana: be willing to fail, be willing to try. But there's no other better time, in my opinion, where you've got an ecosystem, you've got capital, and you've got a brand new technology that people don't really understand yet. That's the recipe for opportunity.
Yeah. That's what I love about this. So you guys, so many projects start we're an NFT project, and we're going to launch as an NFT project, or just in crypto or blockchain in general. And I would challenge anyone listening to this, if you're in Louisiana or anywhere else and you're looking to start a business, figure out how to solve a real need, a problem, something that is going to be the way this technology is moving. Then figure out how you can leverage those tools, right? The whether it's NFTs, Web3, AI, blockchain, any of that. How can you leverage that to take your business ahead of everybody else, and even existing businesses, right? So they can learn from that.
Well, I think there's two things. I think we launched it with an NFT, and I am not a Web3 expert whatsoever, but we thought if we're gonna, we got to sort of walk the walk and talk the talk. If we're going to talk about what's next, why not launch it with something completely new? And what was interesting to see who showed up, that it was hard. I mean, it's still hard, but a year and a half ago, to buy an NFT, you had to go to the bank, connect to the MetaMask, you had to, we would get these calls like, "Where's my money?" It was, you had to really want to learn, and so it was an interesting qualifier of folks. So one thing about an NFT, it does certainly identify a different market of folks who really want to try new things. Secondarily, what we're fascinated by, which is happening today, is a common brand. So an NFT can create a brand for a community. So we're not building a community, we're just connecting one.
Right.
We're connecting an existing community of folks and saying, let's just all have a brand together. And the opportunity to create a unique identity with it is interesting. Thirdly, the idea of the transparency. So we use that NFT as a way to make votes, make decisions. That's compelling. How do you actually make decisions together? And lastly, we all believe, and we could be completely wrong, that there's going to be more adoption into more people have wallets. So, and then when they have wallets, you're going to have more people start to create projects to sell to those folks. So that's the wide open business. That when it goes from whether it's 25 million wallets now to a billion wallets, and every Apple phone has it, that's like the iPhone. So I think we're just preparing New Orleans for that next new distribution channel. Let's learn about it. Let's build relationships, which I think an opportunity is with artists and entrepreneurs. How do you build those relationships? And when the distribution grows, let's go for it.
And you couldn't be a better community. I mean, New Orleans is so rich in culture that I think culture combined with tech is what's really going to attract people. Tech in itself is, it's sexy to some people, but most people aren't attracted to that. But culture, that's why, I don't know if I ever told you, I moved out of the state for a little while, working for a company, relocated me to Florida for a while, and I could not wait to get back to Louisiana. Just because, and I was in beautiful southern Florida, and it's not the roads. It's not the weather. It's the people,
Well, the numbers are clear. We have 19 million people come to New Orleans every year spending $10 billion. They're spending them on our food, art, music, and experiences. So there's a built-in market. Now, what percentage of that market is buying digital projects? Relatively small. I don't think, because people aren't creating it. So what happens when our artists and our musicians and Jazz Fest or Mardi Gras and all these other rich organizations where people are already spending money, when they start to say, why not buy my digital piece of art? Oh, I've got this song. So we're not going to get 100% of that money, but if you got a percentage of the people already coming here and already spending money and coming up with unique products within the digital space, it feels like an opportunity. And that's what we just want to say. It's coming. Get ready. And let's have some fun. And
you touch on something that's definitely, I feel, is a pain point in this industry right now, is the wallets. You mentioned MetaMask and having to connect and all that. And, here we are, a little over a year and some change later, it's still, there's some wallets that are a little bit easier. Looks like MetaMask is incorporating some Visa features. But as those wallets get easier to use, not just use, but set up, right, where someone doesn't have to worry about, where do I write down the seed phrase? If you teach me at a bar how to set up a wallet, and I go to set up that wallet, and now I've got the seed phrase that's telling me to write it somewhere, what do I do? Raina's got a story. One of the founding members here. She when she met Jason, he helped her set up a wallet, and she wrote her seed phrase on a bar napkin, or napkin or receipt. But anyway, but those solutions are coming to where I've seen one guy that was he's building a solution where you can encrypt it with your biometrics from your phone, or another guy to where it actually generates multiple QR codes. So it'll generate 5 QR codes for you. And you just, if you ever need to restore the wallet, you need at least 3 of the 5. So you print those later, disperse them where you need them dispersed, and you can restore those wallets to where it makes it easier. And all that to say, we've got to have wallets that are so easy for people to use, they may not even realize to them that they're setting up a wallet, or that it's as easy as, if I want to join, say like like Walmart loyalty rewards program, all I've got to do is set up an email, password, and I'm in. Right? All those extra steps to set up a wallet build friction, and as those break down, I think we're going to see a ton of people move into this space. And you mentioned like selling NFTs. I like to tell business owners all the time, you can utilize NFTs you don't have to sell them. They never have to sell for anything. You can distribute them to your loyal, most loyal customers, and then that could be your marketing arm. Maybe you give them a discount when they show that NFT certain times, or which one of them I was telling somebody about the other day at a meetup. I was telling them about the NOLA Brewery one, which is part of the membership package here. You got the NOLA Brewery NFT.
Well, I think in what you're saying, our stance here, we're not creating these projects for people to trade them.
Right.
This is access to New Orleans' culture. Yeah. And we think that's value in itself. I mean, the utility of New Orleans is our food, music, art, and experiences. So we hope people never sell them. Right. And this is just as you're building it in value. But we're trying a bunch of different things. And one of them was one of the members owns NOLA Brewery, which is a great local brewery here in New Orleans. And so we came up with a new brand called New Brew. Yeah. And that's just, we made that up. That's just a NIEUX, BRUX. And what he's doing is he put it on the menu, and it's a way for him to experiment with his customers. So he's just trying new things. Yeah. So he's trying new beer. So if you walk in with a New Brew NFT, you show it, you get to try it. Yeah. And then once a year, he's going to be brewing a special brew, and then you'll be able to order beer with your NFT on the label. So you'll have your own brand of beer. Okay. Now, this is two things. One is you own that brand. So the idea you can have your own bottle number 395, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. But secondarily, connecting the art to a business. Right. So it's commerce. Art plus beer, you can make some money. So that's just one idea, but if you can sort of think about it, we could tie art to every single business in this community. And what if the artists start making more money? Yeah. So that's the opportunity. Yeah, because more people are going to be leaning on them for the art creation. And then if there's ever resales of something, that there's always could be a royalty split. But like you said earlier, man, it was so. I had heard about you guys starting Nieux Society. I knew a lot of people that were getting involved, Raina and others, when they were at Gilded. And at the time you guys launched, I was in the process of rebuilding my home after the storm. And so I didn't really do much. So a year later, we connected. I decided to join. But I can tell you, from Raina was telling me, she said, you need to come by and check it out. And then also Ben Leff was telling me to come by as well. And first thing, I went to OpenSea, and I wanted to see, all right, can I just buy one of these founder tokens? And you're right, nobody's selling them. It was not something that was a project that people just bought. And most NFTs in the past, not knocking any other projects, most people are buying them for a floor price of what they can sell it at in the future. Yeah. And this was different, and that's what I found, because I couldn't find one for sale. Because the people that bought it, they weren't all people that were only in it because it was crypto or NFT. Most of them didn't even have a wallet. Yeah. So that's. I think it's back to, if you're building it can't be launching an NFT project. What are you really doing? Right. What's the real vision you're trying to do? The NFT is just a tool to get there. And the idea of inspiring a renaissance in New Orleans, that's what we believe. If you say that there's capital and there's technology and there's entrepreneurs, those are the ingredients for a renaissance in a community. But that's a crazy idea, that we could all be part of inspiring something remarkable. But your NFT now is your proof you were there. Mm-hmm. What if it works? And we always talk about, but if this works, if 10 years from now we're talking, our kids are saying, oh my gosh, my dad was involved in this thing. How do you know? Wait, look at his thing.
It's on chain, right?
It's on chain, right? Yeah. So, and secondary, if you don't sell it, because we're just beginning. Mm-hmm. And so, we're talking about the campus and building that out and all the other projects, but we hope no one ever sells them. And that these become, it shows who really was there at a crazy time in this market. So, yeah, and I love that, man. The sayings what if it works? Yeah.
Is that a Tim original or something you heard and decided to keep sharing?
That's actually a nod to some experiences we had when we first started out 20 years ago, where we were trying to launch this entrepreneurial effort in New Orleans, and we went to the head of the chamber and we asked, we thought the chamber should fund it. He said, we don't have any money. And we went back a couple weeks later and says, can we house this thing in your 20,000 square foot mahogany office? And he goes, we don't have any space, which I didn't really believe. That's all the space. But we went back like a couple weeks later and I said, look, Bob, I just want you to endorse entrepreneurship. It creates new jobs. It's great for the community. It's town. And he goes, let me think about it. And I go, what do you got to think about? And he said, lean back and says, Tim, well, what if this thing fails? What if what you guys are doing fails? And we we take a credibility hit. And so I went back to the guys and said, I think I found the problem. One, we have the worst education system, crime, corruptions, and the saints stink. It's Bob. How dare the head of the business community tell a bunch of young entrepreneurs what if it fails? So the what if it works is just a mindset that if an entrepreneur's pitching you, if you're thinking, what if this works? If versus
different
what
mindset,
it's I would argue on a broader thing that might be the issues with our culture. We have a what if it fails concept versus if we all became what if it works, you would give it would create a culture of people trying more stuff.
Right. It's so true because failures can lead to great things. It's only a true failure if there's nothing gained, nothing learned from it.
Yeah.
And I think we need to redefine what failure is for people because they think, if I open a business and then I have to shut it down, I failed.
Yeah.
What did you learn? Did something give you an education along the way to where now you know, okay, I can try this differently?
Well, great cultures, I hate to say celebrate failure. They encourage trying till you get it. I sort of tell a story, going to the Saints game with my dad, and we'd be up by Saints would be up by 21 points with 3 minutes to go. And he goes, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And they did. Right?
I lived it.
But we grew up, if you're from here, losing was what we expected. And then, you got the Breeze Peyton area, 3 minutes to go, we're down by 21, we're going to win. And we did.
Yeah.
So it was a mindset that I think that we can help foster, that I hope my kid who's a junior in high school, I always tell her, just what if it works? I mean, if you believe it can work, that's half the game.
Right.
So I think, that token is not an NFT. It's just a badge saying, I want to foster an environment where we can actually succeed there. So, so it's bigger than. I mean, I don't want to minimize the NFT. The NFT is meant to be it's a pathway to a bigger vision.
Yeah.
And so we're just, today we're just beginning a second cycle of it.
Nice. And that's the message I want people to get, because I talk to people about NFTs and a lot of times I'll get that eye roll, the ones that have heard of it, because they hear about the Bored Apes and others and realize that it's not even about, the NFT is just a digital way to signify that you're a part of it, that you're on it. You can always verify. Yeah. You can trace who's been there, who's done that. Yeah. But it's so much more about everything else. And I've talked to people I know in different areas after experiencing the Nieux Society and the campus here and saying, you guys need to think about something like this for your area.
Yeah.
And, don't start with the tech. Start with, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to build? What do you want to, I always say build a community around, but you're right. Take the community and unite them together. But what do you want to do with that? So that would be my challenge to anybody listening to this, wherever you are in the country, in the United States or outside of the United States, is don't just focus on, I want to launch an NFT project because I want to sell some NFTs. What can you really offer to society, to culture, to people? And that common goal, that's what I like about here. The mindset, what if it works? Yeah. That's a great mindset. It's a different shift. And the stickers I've seen all over the place. I even put one on my laptop here. What's next, right? Yeah. And start thinking about that. What's next? Because so many people are worried about the right now, are harping on past failures and things that happened in the past. Forget about that. What's next?
Well, look, I think, there's an opportunity about what's next is, over the last even 6 months since when we've been doing this concept of AI has emerged. And that, I don't know if you were during Mardi Gras, that was just a thing we tried out, the Mardi Gras NFT, just to everybody do their own. But what I have seen in the last 6 months is sort of this shift from where productivity is not as valued as creativity.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be the most productive person because someone can use this technology program to do it faster. It's forcing people's creativity. Who's more creative?
True.
And so the opportunity to build artists, to connect artists to entrepreneurs. When I see an NFT, I see artists and entrepreneurs come together. Because you need an artist to put it together. You need an entrepreneur to figure out how to make money.
Yeah.
So the opportunity to use this new technology to bring two different groups together to start to create new things together. Now you add on $100 million of gas. That's what I think people should be looking at. It's not a way to make money now; it's a way to connect people.
Yeah. the money will come.
Well,
Yeah,
or just deliver on your promise.
Yeah,
and it could not work, but that's
right.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
But don't sell something and run.
Sure.
At least try.
Yeah, true. True. Tim, man, it's been a pleasure talking about Nieux Society. I'm excited about what's going to happen this next season and to come. Not just in the building, you're right, but from everybody and what's going to get launched out of this movement, and who's going to take advantage of those funds you mentioned here in Louisiana. So before we wrap up, any final words for anyone who may be listening?
Yeah, I think if you're from New Orleans, Louisiana, I think you know the good news is we're in the game. That we've got, as I said, the strong ecosystem. You've got a collaborative group. You've got artists at the table. You've got new technology. You got capital. So the pieces are in place. What's interesting is the Super Bowl will be here in 2025. So February 2012. And that was interesting. The last time they were here, they were talking about Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
The recovery. Oh, look how good. My question is for everybody: you got a year and a half. What are you going to do? There's a year and a half scale.
Yeah.
Now's the time to build. Now's the time to launch. But imagine when the world's got their spotlight on New Orleans. What's the message, and what are you going to do? Are we going to talk about the potholes? We're going to talk about the crime, or are we going to talk about this explosion of creativity? So I think it's a call to action for this community. Do you want to go for it or not? This is the time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Tim, great thing. So some people may be listening to this in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So let's start with tell them where physically they can find the Nieux Society campus.
And by the way, you don't have to be in Louisiana to be part of the Nieux Society. This is anybody around the world.
Right, true.
Just two things, you got to have some passion for New Orleans, and just don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk. But, first, our website is nieux.xyz, nieux.xyz. We're on Twitter at Nieux Society. We're actually physically located at 2040 St. Charles Avenue, right on the parade route, as you know. So the members also get a great home base from Mardi Gras, so if you need to go to the bathroom or drink a beer or whatever it may be. But, we decide to plant a flag on St. Charles Avenue to say we're here. So
Awesome. Definitely follow. I got all the information in the description. Follow Nieux Society on all their social channels. Check out the website. And if you're nearby, come by for a visit. These guys are here. What hours are you guys here? Now?
Well, I mean, people work out here from 8 to 4, and then we're going to start from 4 to 7, like a little happy hour. But
awesome.
But yeah, let's get going.
Yeah, come on by. So, Tim, thanks for your time today. Definitely been a pleasure. This is a project I wanted a community I wanted people to find out about and learn more about, and hopefully more people will take note all around the world. Look at Nieux Society, and this could be a blueprint of things that can be planted in other areas of the state. Yeah. Others area outside. What's next? I guess is the question.
Well, 100%. I think you'll see a whole network of cities around the country connect around what's next. And it'd be great if New Orleans were just connected like a league, a new league of people doing stuff. So awesome. They got to start one at a time. So
awesome. Cool.
Thanks for being there.
Tim, thanks again. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. All right.